I love Sabrina Carpenter and her outfits are just amazing. So this I'm really excited for. Hi, I'm Vienna Peaches. I'm a burlesque performer and on this channel I do anything glamour related. As soon as I saw that there was a Sabrina Carpenter performance troupe coming up, I was like so on that. I love her outfits. I think she is an amazing performer. For this outfit, I had a couple of things that I needed to do. Because this is a burlesque performance, we're gonna split her costume into like separate pieces. We're gonna have the underwear, strapless bra, and the corset, garters, pasties, props, towels as well. I think that's it. Now, because I am broke as fuck and we want to do our costumes as much on a budget as possible, I sourced a couple of different places for the outfit. I already had a corset from a separate performance. It's from Corset Story. It's this one here that's white satin polyester. Then I had a pair of white underwear, which is also polyester. I just needed to source like a strapless bra. I ended up finding this one from Best and Less for only like $6 to $12 or something. That's also polyester, so I can dye all the pieces together because they were all polyester, so they should be able to dye at a similar rate. I also had a gift voucher for Spotlight, able to source the dye and use that. So this costume ended up being very cheap, which is excellent. Got my rhinestones, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. Because we're in a group, we also had to have like separate colors. So I ended up with the iconic color pink and I am so excited. The first thing I've got to do is dye the costume all together. Because I had all polyester, I was able to do it all in one dye bath. I also had some lace elastic that I thought I could try to dye along with everything else, but I wasn't sure what the contents were and what it was made of, so I wasn't too worried if it turned out the wrong color. I ended up just popping everything into the sink. I've done this method before. If you have a pot big enough to do it on the stovetop, that would give you better results. I didn't have one. I don't have room for a big pot, so I just ended up using the sink and boiling quite a few kettles for that. I also used the full bottle of dye, which I also didn't have to do. I probably could have used half and gotten the same results. Kind of kept stirring it in the sink for about 45 minutes once I got all the kettles in. It was like 45 minutes to an hour of just stirring it. I also put foil over the top to keep the heat in. Because we can't have it on a consistent boil of like on the stove top, I had to keep the foil to keep the heat in. That works pretty well for me. I didn't leave it for any longer than an hour because I felt like the color was already dark enough. And I took everything out, gave it all a really good rinse in the sink, and then popped it outside to dry. Unfortunately, I did leave the corset on top of the bra drying and it's left a little bit of a watermark. Totally fine. I'm gonna rhinestone it, so you're not gonna really see that after it's been rhinestoned. The elastic turned out way too dark and so did the underwear because I had read the contents wrong. The underwear was actually nylon and only the embroidery was 100% polyester, so it didn't turn out the color that I needed. I started trying to source some other underwear that I could use, but I could only find nylon underwear. And then I came across this pair from Kmart. It was only $2 and it's so close to the color that I dyed the bra and the corset. Once it's on stage, once it's rhinestoned, you're not going to notice. It's probably like one level of a shade different. Totally fine. And they were the perfect size, the perfect like cut for what I kind of wanted, because I still wanted to have her like almost like a brief for the underwear. I want to kind of have that silhouette as well. I didn't want to go modern with like a G-string or anything like that. I want to keep that kind of like conservative look that she has. Now that I've left everything to dry and I can actually get started on the rhinestoning process, I'll get into that in the next episode where we actually get to start rhinestoning. I'll see you there. Bye. Dream a little dreamer.